The first body surfaced in late August, when the lake was at its warmest. They say that's when it breathes. Welcome back to tonight's episode. If you're listening alone, maybe leave a light on. This is the story of Blackwater Lake. Blackwater sits about 10 miles outside the town of Merrow's End, tucked between pine forest and a half-abandoned campground. During the day, it looks harmless, sunlight skimming across the surface, dragonflies hovering like flecks of blue glass. But at night, the water turns ink-dark and perfectly still, as if it's not reflecting the sky, but swallowing it. Locals don't swim there after dusk. They don't fish the northern cove at all, because that's where the whispering starts. The first recorded incident was in 1963. A teenage boy named Daniel Kessler disappeared during a midnight swim on a dare. His friends said he was laughing 1 second, then he stopped. Not a splash, not a cry. Just silence. Search parties dragged the lake for 3 days. They found nothing. Not until a week later, when Daniel's body rose from the northern cove. The coroner's report said drowning, but the sheriff at the time noted something strange. Daniel's lungs contained far more water than the lake could hold in a single breath. It was as if he had been held under, breathing it in, long after he should have been dead. And then there were the marks. Thin, crescent-shaped indentations around both ankles, as if something had gripped him. After that summer, the stories multiplied. Campers reported hearing their names called from the water after midnight. Not shouted, whispered, intimate. The voice always sounded like someone they loved, a sister, a boyfriend, a parent. Soft and urgent. Come here. It's okay. I'm waiting. In 1978, a park ranger named Elaine Porter documented 12 separate complaints about auditory hallucinations near the northern cove. She didn't believe in ghosts. She believed in pranksters. So one night, just after 1 a.m., she went down to the dock alone with a tape recorder. The audio still exists. It starts with the rhythmic chirp of crickets, the gentle lap of water against wood. Elaine's voice, steady and unimpressed. Ranger Porter, 1:12 a.m., no unusual activity. There's a pause. Then the water changes. You can hear it in the recording, a low, sloshing shift. Not waves, something heavier, like a body turning beneath the surface. Elaine clears her throat. Probably a carp. Then, faintly, another voice. Not on the dock, not in the trees, in the water. Elaine. But unmistakable. Elaine. It's cold. Elaine had a younger brother who drowned when she was 9. His name was Thomas. On the tape, her breathing sharpens. This isn't funny. The voice comes again, closer now. Laney, help me. That was what Thomas used to call her. The recording ends with a sudden splash and the scrape of wood, as if the recorder was knocked sideways. Elaine Porter was found at dawn, face down at the water's edge, not in the lake, just at the edge. Her fingers were dug deep into the mud, as if she had been trying to pull herself away. There were crescent-shaped marks around her ankles. After Elaine's death, the town fenced off the northern cove. They posted warning signs. Strong currents, hazardous drop-off, no swimming. But fences don't stop whispers. In 2004, a group of college students snuck in after hours with beer and a handheld camera. They wanted to film a haunted lake challenge for the early days of the internet. The footage is shaky and grainy, but it's real. They joke about ghost fish and lake monsters. One of them, a girl named Marisol, wades in knee-deep, holding the camera high. "Hey Thomas," she calls mockingly. "Hey Daniel, got any ankle fetishes?" Her friends laugh. Then Marisol stops. The camera dips slightly. "Do you guys hear that?" At first, it's just the wind. Then, layered beneath it, dozens of whispers. Not one voice. Many. Overlapping, murmuring, urgent. The camera swings toward the dark water. The surface is no longer still. It's trembling, small ripples spreading outward from a single point near Marisol's legs. She gasps. Something tugs her, hard. The footage jolts as she falls forward. The camera submerges for half a second, and in that blurred green-black frame, there are shapes. Pale shapes. Not fish, not weeds. Hands reaching up. The camera resurfaces, but Marisol doesn't. Her friends are screaming now, grabbing at the water, but it's like trying to catch smoke. She's gone. Her body surfaces 3 days later. Crescent-shaped marks around her ankles. By now, the town no longer pretends it's currents or drop-offs. They say the lake is hungry, but for what? Some believe Blackwater Lake wasn't always a lake. Old maps from the 1800s show a small settlement in that exact location, a place called Briar Hollow. It disappeared after a spring flood, when the river burst its banks and swallowed the town whole. Church records mention a revival preacher who warned of sins too heavy for the earth to bear. And then, nothing. If you visit the lake in winter, when the surface freezes solid, you might notice something strange. Air bubbles trapped in the ice, hundreds of them, frozen mid-rise. But they're too large to be fish, too numerous to be natural. And sometimes, if you press your ear against the ice, you can hear it. A dull, rhythmic thudding, like fists, pounding from below. Last year, a local teenager named Ava Morales went missing after walking her dog near the campground. Search teams combed the forest for days before someone thought to check the lake. It was January. The ice was nearly a foot thick. They found a circular patch in the northern cove where the ice had thinned to a fragile glaze. As if something warm had lingered just beneath the surface. They found Ava's footprints leading to the edge, and another set leading back. Bare footprints, small, child-sized. No one has found Ava. But some nights, when the wind is low and the moon is bright, residents along the shore say they see shapes moving just under the surface, dozens of them, drifting slowly, waiting. And if you stand very still, if you let the quiet settle into your bones, you might hear your own name carried across the water. Soft, loving, patient. Because Blackwater Lake doesn't chase, it doesn't roar. It waits until you're lonely, until you're grieving, until you're just curious enough to step closer. And when you do, it holds on. So if you ever find yourself near Marrow's End, and someone dares you to swim after midnight, listen carefully. If the lake whispers your name, don't answer.